In a forgotten corner of life, where memories of the past gathered like dust, Joe spent his days. A man in his 50s, carrying on his shoulders the heavy weight of losing Sarah, his wife who had left this world in a mysterious accident a year ago. His small workshop, once filled with life, had become a refuge for his isolation, and his only passion was repairing old radios, as if he were desperately trying to retune the frequencies of time itself. Every evening, Joe spoke to her photograph, telling her the details of his day as though she were still by his side. Deep grief and loneliness were his constant companions. He placed the old radio that once belonged to Sarah on the table beside him, as if waiting for a message from her, a signal, anything that might break the silence of separation. On a stormy night, as the wind played a melody of sorrow against the windows of his home, Joe was absorbed in repairing another radio. Suddenly, Sarah's old radio began to emit strange sounds, not ordinary static, but as if it were desperately trying to broadcast something. Joe ignored it at first, assuming it was just another malfunction in an aging device. Then, without warning, the static stopped. An eerie silence filled the room, and then Joe heard a clear voice, Sarah's voice. "Joe, don't forget to water the jasmine plant. I bought it today." Joe froze in place. That jasmine plant. He had bought it after Sarah's death. A mixture of shock and disbelief spread across his face. Was this real? Or had his mind finally begun to deceive him? Joe desperately tried to find a logical explanation. He examined the radio, changed the frequencies, but nothing. He convinced himself he was imagining it, that grief had cost him his sanity. But the next day, the phenomenon happened again. Sarah's voice described an event that had occurred yesterday, or something that would happen later that day. The accuracy of the messages was terrifying. The transmissions continued. Sarah spoke about the details of his daily life, his hidden emotions, things no one could possibly know but her. Joe became obsessed with the radio, recording it, analyzing every word, every tone. Hope began to creep into his heart, tangled with the fear of madness. Had Sarah returned, or was he slowly losing his mind? Joe's friends and family began to notice the change in him. He grew withdrawn, speaking about Sarah as if she were still alive, as if she had never left. They tried to convince him to seek help, but he refused. Tension consumed him. His eyes were red from sleepless nights, his mind spinning in a relentless storm of questions. Joe started to doubt his own sanity. Were these hallucinations? Was he collapsing under the weight of grief? Yet Sarah's voice felt too real, the messages far too precise to deny. He couldn't bring himself to dismiss them. He began searching for explanations, any explanation that could make sense of this strange phenomenon, whether scientific or supernatural. In a moment of despair, while Joe was searching for anything that could still connect him to Sarah, he found one of her old boxes, one he had never opened before. Inside were old journals, photographs, and a small cassette tape. Curiosity, mixed with fear, pushed him to open it. The journals revealed a painful truth. Sarah had known she was going to die. She had been suffering from a terminal illness that she hid from him, trying to protect him. The messages he had been hearing were not from the future. They were voice recordings Sarah had made before her death and secretly embedded into the old radio, set to broadcast at specific times as her final messages of love. Then Joe found one last letter from Sarah inside the box. It read, "My beloved Joe, I know you will find this. I don't want you to live in the past. These messages are not meant to make you sad, but to remind you of my love and to give you the strength to move forward. I am always with you, but your life must go on. A mixture of grief, understanding, and peace washed over Joe's face. It wasn't madness, it was eternal love. Joe wept, but they were not tears of sorrow or despair. They were tears of understanding and gratitude. He realized that Sarah had not been trying to pull him back into the past. She had been gently guiding him toward the future. A sense of calm and inner peace settled deep within his soul. Joe began to put his home and his workshop in order. He reconnected with his friends. The positive change in him was undeniable. He picked up the old radio once more, this time with a tender smile, as a beautiful memory, not as a device that bound him to pain. Joe placed the radio in a special spot, a lasting reminder of Sarah's love. Then he stepped into the garden and watered the jasmine plant she had chosen, his heart full of hope and reconciliation with himself and with life. Sometimes the messages we need don't come from the future, but from the past, reminding us that love never dies and that it gives us the strength to move forward. Are you ready to hear the message that could change your life? If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more stories that speak to the soul.